Okay guys, so yesterday we worked on annotating and answering some questions about The War Works Hard. And you're going to do a similar assignment today, but I just wanted to refresh your memory on what we did with The War Works Hard. As I mentioned before, we have these devices that are in the borders, and I write these on the pieces that I give you. And then you go and sort of dig into the text. You annotate it. And what do I mean by annotating? We're creating a sort of a trail of our thinking, interacting with the author, asking questions. You know, why did the author do this? Why did the author do that? For example, one big question yesterday was, why did the author so heavily use personification? Why did the author make war a living, breathing thing? And trying to figure out that helps to figure out the author's purpose for writing the poem. So what you did yesterday, as you can see on the screen here, this is one that's not color-coded, but it's a good example of what you're supposed to be doing. For example, underlining the first line, right off the bat, we notice something going on with tone. We can see that the author says, "How magnificent the war is!" exclamation mark. And we start to sense right off the bat sarcasm, because normally we don't think of war as magnificent. So we sense a sarcastic tone right off the bat, and we can see that happening throughout. We see the personification happening throughout. When we look at other examples, trying to make some inferences from here. For example, when the author talks about "for the orphans," so we know, okay, as the student noted here, parents die. For the orphans, invigorates the coffin makers, gives grave diggers a pat on the back. So this part is talking about, as this student made a note here, about what happens when people die, when soldiers die. Answering bigger questions after you annotate it, like the poet's purpose. Themes that you notice. Structure, is there a rhyme scheme? You know, this is what you're going to be doing again today, but you're going to be doing it with a different text. So I just wanted to refresh your memory on what we did with this yesterday and kind of what's expected today. Except today what you're going to do is you're going to have this new story here that's called "Men Are Different," and in the borders we have the things that we need to be looking for. So you can color code this. So if you want to, for example, let's say you want to look at tone, or you want to look at, if you notice something about the point of view, for example. Okay, so let's say you are going to underline it twice in blue, and you want to look and see whose point of view is this from. So wherever you first notice the point of view that this story is being told from, you're going to underline that point of view in your text. And what this does is it really helps us to dig into the text and go, as I mentioned yesterday, going a layer deeper. Okay, we're not just looking for examples of, you know, personification or looking for examples of imagery, but we want to know, why did the author put those examples in there? Why did the author say it that way? Why did the author use that word? And that's what we really want to dig into today. So take a look at this, read it on your own, and then as with a partner or in your table groups, you can go through and help each other kind of find these things and highlight them, color code them if that makes it easier to see. But you're basically going to be digging into this text today, and then what we'll do for the next step is we'll look at what we've pinpointed in here. We've looked at the imagery, we've looked at the tone, looked at conflicts, you know, decided what point of view the story is told from. Is it from the man's point of view, or is it from the robot's point of view? Looking at the word choice, the diction, okay? You know, does this author use a lot of jargon? or is it straightforward language? What kind of language is it? So that's the word choice that you're looking at over here. You're going to dig through it today, and then tomorrow our goal will be to answer some bigger questions like we did today with The War Works Hard. We'll work on answering some bigger questions, looking at, for example, the point of view, looking at, why the author did some of the things the author did. Okay, so for now, read this one to yourself and then work with a partner or your group to dig into it and start making your annotations.